Hey, what's up, everybody? Just real quick, I want to use this time to go through a quick, very quick market breakdown for this upcoming week for Forex pairs. After this video, I'm going to put together, or I've already kind of put it together. Yesterday I did the outlook for indices, and if you go to the other chat, you can see the link for that. And that was pretty high level. So if anybody needs me to break it down a little bit more, I can do that as well. But really just gonna focus this on Forex and what I'm looking for this upcoming week for Forex pairs. So again, we always start with the dollar just because everything moves with the dollar, right? It rises and falls, with the dollar. So real quickly, if you look, we're still pretty much in the same space we were over the past 3 weeks. And so we're at that consequent encroachment level. So this line right here represents consequent encroachment of this wick. Again, consequent encroachment is just, this the 50% the midpoint. So really separating our premium and our discount level, right, of this candle, of this wick. And so you can see that we've pretty much been respecting it for the past 3 weeks. We broke through it once, twice, and again, haven't broke through it and really have respected this level. So what we could be seeing is, just kind of a shorter term or a longer, a longer term retracement, or even potentially, the end of the trend. Again, I don't pick tops and bottoms on trends. If we look at the overall, let me make this a little bit bigger. The overall outlook for the market, um, this is kind of the long-term target that I wanted to see hit. And so if you remember from the last couple of weeks, what I wanted to see was a daily close above this consequent encroachment level, just to kind of give me the indication that we're going to continue on. If we get that, then most likely, we'll keep going. But as of right now, if I go down to the daily time frame, we haven't seen it. We haven't gotten it. Um, and so over the past 3 weeks, we've really been trading through, rejecting this level pretty much every single day. And so that's kind of letting me know that we could be looking for a longer term retracement. Last week, I wanted to see price come back down, take out lows, and I called that we would probably take out these lows and these relative equal lows here, and then trade back up. And again, I'm looking for when I trade, I'm looking for the best case scenarios or the best possible setups. And so I'm not, you could have, gone long and took buys here, right? But again, I don't really feel safe until this is broken through. And so when we get that break or that daily close over this, um, I'll be looking for, long-term targets to get hit at this level at 107.86, and then obviously this high with buy side liquidity at 107.05. So pretty much until then, we're kind of just waiting in Forex. There's not really a whole lot we can do because I'm not really taking trades on any of these currencies until their consequent encroachment levels are broken. So if you go to Euro USD right here, it's very similar. It's a little messier, but very similar to what's going on. Let me get rid of this. So actually, no, let me leave that right there. So we traded back up into this level. We traded back up into this daily order block here. We rejected. Let me go higher to the weekly so you guys can see this a little bit clearer. Yeah, so we've been rejecting, just kind of trading back and forth between a few different levels. So obviously this fair value gap here, this weekly fair value gap, we've traded into this a few times. The most recent one was a rejection of this level. And if we look left here, again, this is why we always measure consequent encroachment. So if you look at this wick from this low to this high, right, you can see that last week's price action stopped just hot short of this consequent encroachment, or this 50% level of this wick. And so that's one of the reasons why we always measure those levels, especially on long wicks, very apparent wicks. And so we traded all the way up into this, closed and respected this fair value gap. And so if we go down to the weekly time frame, we can kind of see, or before we go down to the daily time frame, we can also see that we were respecting consequent encroachment here. Again, we're also respecting this candle's consequent encroachment. So we're just pretty much breaking out. Again, consolidating on the weekly time frame. And I'd like to see our overall target is here, like our quarterly objective target is this huge imbalance down here. So I'd like to see price retrace into this zone. But until we get a break of those inverted fair value gaps, I'm sorry, and break of those consequent encroachment levels, we won't. I just don't feel safe taking trades. Another thing too to point out here is, obviously this trend line. Well, let me get rid of this. This is really messy. Um, so this red line again represents that weekly consequent encroachment level, and then this line also represents that weekly consequent encroachment level to the high. And so really we've just been trading this huge range. There's not a whole lot of liquidity. We're just really acquiring liquidity, consolidating on this higher time frame. And again, I'm looking for, we took out buy side liquidity over these highs here, and that's 101.0641. And so, I'm looking to get some type of sell side liquidity hit. I'd like to see, this level. Let me get rid of this right here so we can see this a little bit clearer. I'd like to see a rejection from this inverted fair value gap and really start to target this level here. This would be my weekly objective if we do get a close below that consequent encroachment level. Why here? Because a couple of things. So if I get rid of some of these arrows, you can see here that we had consequent encroachment. So the low of 2 weeks ago has traded all the way down, and these lows are looking just really apparent with sell side liquidity. We know anytime we have relative equal lows, there's going to be sell side liquidity building up underneath these. So we're going to want to see the market come in and take that out. So I think we're just building liquidity. We took out a high here. We're building a bunch of sell side liquidity here. And here that the market is inevitably going to want to take out. And so we know when the market makers and when, the algorithm is acquiring, liquidity. Well, let me backtrack. Let me hold that thought. I'm gonna get there. Sorry, I'm all over the place today, but I'm gonna come back to that thought. But again, so we can see that the algorithm is kind of building sell side liquidity. We have relative equal lows right there, and this low here, which is a very apparent low. So ideally, what I'd like to see this week is liquidity do some type of pullback, maybe into this range, and then look to take out these lows here and here. It's going to be my target. That's what I've been calling for the last few weeks. So again, relative equal lows here. You can see these lows. We know there's going to be sell side building up there on that time frame as well. So I can't really see a level. There's not really any former imbalances. There's this imbalance up here that price has not traded to yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if we came into this zone, start the week off, and then took things a lot lower. Something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we traded into that zone and then took things lower. That's in the 4-hour time frame. Um, and then started looking for these lows. But right now we're just in a huge consolidated range. And basically, the consolidation at the high is a consequent encroachment on the weekly time frame, and the low is a consequent encroachment. So we're pretty much just trading in range in mess. And I don't really want to take any type of positions. I mean, this just looks pretty ugly. There's not really a trend here. So until we break those levels, that's what I'll be looking for. But I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back to a level this imbalancing up here, and then took out these lows. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday trading into this range, and then the rest of the week taking out, this low, and then potentially even uh, this low as well. So that's what I'm seeing on Euro. GBP is very much the same thing. Last week, we called this level to get hit. So I thought that price might trade into these imbalances here. Let me go back up to the daily so you can see this a little bit better. So there was this huge fair value gap that we've been calling for the last few weeks. We wanted to see price trade into this range and then give us an opportunity to go short. I know people that took trades in this and are going short in this. I wanted to see this consequent encroachment level hit, because if we go back up to the weekly and kind of zoom in, the same consequent encroachment levels that we've been seeing on dollar and euro, we've been seeing them on um, on GBP as well. The only difference is that we broke below. We pretty much respected this level multiple times, and so we'll look to see if we can get a daily close below this level. Now, as we go to the daily time frame, you can see that we did get a daily close below the level, but it was very quick. And since then, we've been respecting this level over the past couple of days. Um, so let me actually bring this up there and get rid of this. You can see this a little clearer. So that weekly level is our consequent, or that red line is our weekly level of our consequent encroachment. And so we've been respecting it over the last few days, um, which could mean that we could get an extended run back up, could be the end of this trend. We're just kind of waiting to see what happens. Again, I just want to see a daily close below this level. We did have, it looks like last Thursday, trade below these relative equal lows. So that was a target that we had. Ideally, I'd like to see this continue on and take out the sell side liquidity here on the daily, and then just on a higher time frame target, really take out the liquidity that's sitting here. I think overall, this is probably going to be, this volume imbalance here, and then this low right here will probably be our quarterly target that I've talked about. Um, so I'd like to see just kind of like an extended run through this week. I don't know if we'll get it, but if we don't get it this week, then we could potentially even start, bracing ourselves for the idea of a reversal. But just it's kind of, we've been what we've been looking for and waiting for. So really, this is just kind of an update on Euro and GBP. There's not really a whole lot of new news. I did want to point out this too. So a lot of times when you see the majors are in consolidation, so we've pretty much just been in a range for the past, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So coming up on a month and a half of us just really trading in this range with no clear trend after, 13 weeks of just like consecutive movement. Um, and so one of the things you'll see when prices in a consolidation that on the dollar or the major pairs is that the exotic pairs or the crosses will tend to be a little bit more volatile. And so like you'll see something like GBP. Let's just look at GBP JPY. Right. So you'll see more movement on pairs like this. You can see past few weeks we've had these weekly ranges that are bigger. If I were to go to like a random pair, I don't know, like CAD JPY, I don't know. I have no let's just keep it let's keep yeah, that's cool. So you can see over the past week we've had, a huge range of like 100 and 200, actually like 200 points in this week last week. So if we go down to the daily time frame, it's probably a little clearer to see, but just more movement and more range. And so a lot of times what happens when the crosses or when the major pairs are kind of in a consolidation, the crosses are moving and they're a lot more volatile. So a lot of times some people might switch to those pairs and look for the liquidity to get ran in those levels. So um again, I'm not going to touch on indices today, but again, just dollar, my overall target, as I'm still bullish, I still would like to see dollar trade above this high. I think we'll get it this week. If we don't, we'll probably look for again a continued run. Um, but again, targeting this high at 107.02 would be our short-term target. And the long-term target, obviously, is going to be 107.87 is where I'm looking. So that's what I'd like to see. So dollar again, still bullish bias, euro, USD, we'll still have a bearish bias on this, but again, I just want to see consequent encroachment taken out. So our consequent encroachment level traded through with a daily close, and then same thing with GBP. So bearish on Euro USD, bearish on GBP USD, bullish on dollar. And but again, this is kind of just like the waiting game. And this is also personally why I switched over to NASDAQ and indices this, the past couple of weeks and have just been trading those. Because whenever we're in consolidations like this, the last thing you want to do is take a position when the charts are just messy and you're not getting a lot of price action. You can't really see a clear draw on liquidity here, right? We can't see that at all. We're just in a range. And so if we don't have a draw on liquidity, we don't have anything that we can really just point out and say, this is what we're exactly aiming for. And this is what we know the market is reaching to, that we're gambling. And so we don't want to gamble. We want to take high probability setups. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for all of these. If you guys have any questions at all, or if you want me to go a little bit more depth on indices for this week, just let me know. I know I did the breakdown for Trading Nut podcast over the weekend, and so I'll drop that link in this chat too if you guys didn't see it in the other chat. But hopefully that's enough. And again, don't be scared to ask questions at all, and please, please, please reach out if you have any at all, any questions or anything that you think you might be having questions with. Like the one thing I've also been trying to do is just find time to follow up with everybody from the summit and see if they have any questions about anything, so we can continue to help everybody grow and develop. I know there's a lot of people over in the class, and not everybody speaks up in the chat, and that's fine. So, but I just want to make sure that everybody is progressing. So again, hopefully this is a happy trading week. Also, really, really, really quickly, I wanted to go to Forex Factory and just walk you guys through the news for this week, because I know that's something that we also uh, need to talk about as well. So I share my screen really quickly. So no news really for today. Tomorrow we have Bank of Japan news. So I would not be surprised if we saw a run on USD JPY or any of the JPY pairs that happen tomorrow sometime. Sometime on Monday. Bunch of just mixed bag news on everything. There's nothing really here that I would be scared of. You also have Bank of Japan press conference tomorrow, so just be careful if you're looking at the yen. Jolts FOMC statement on Wednesday. So on Wednesday we have FOMC. So FOMC protocol is in full effect. And we also have NFP, I think, on Friday. Yeah, non-farm. So on Friday. So this could be a very volatile week. So again, I'm only looking for trade setups for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday going into FOMC or NFP weeks. And since both of these fall on the same day or same week, I'm not going to play around with this week. So I'll be done by Wednesday at noon and looking for setups all the way up until then. And so this won't be a crazy heavy week for me. And then we also are kind of gearing up towards the end of the year. I think this will be the last month going into November that I'll really be trading for the year. So I'm looking to capitalize on that, and hopefully we have pretty fruitful November. So again, so it looks like, yeah, NFP on Friday, FOMC on Wednesday. Please be done with all of your trading by noon at Wednesday's New York session. So or the New York morning session. So please don't trade anymore after that for the week. And yeah, we'll kind of follow up on this as we go along, especially since we're kind of waiting for a lot of things, both in indices and Forex. So we'll see what happens. So thanks, guys. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.